Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I am here to share your daily aspects. Today is Monday, April 18, 2022. Sun in Aries, waning gibbous moon in Scorpio, shifting to Sagittarius tonight. We express ourselves with action, initiative, and courage, and we have an inner drive to seek truth in the depths of our intuition. Now is a time to reflect on your experience. Surround yourself with objects of mystery and meaning as you look back on the last month's activities and culminations and think about what you liked and what you could have done without. Now we begin to make our list of those things that will probably have to go so that we can see a clear path to the next creative cycle. The sun moves from Aries into Taurus tomorrow, and we may feel ourselves ready to slow down and enjoy some sense of the familiar. We can't go around all year long with our heads on fire with zeal and initiative, but it sure felt good for a little while. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right here for you. I have otherwise divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. Now, the moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on the side because these have a bigger influence and impact on our outward expression. And we begin on the sun side today, friends. Let's see, Central Standard Time at 2:15 this morning. Venus goes sextile to Uranus. Libra, Taurus, and Aquarius have rulers here. We have cooperative functioning between our ability to attract what we like and the impulse to make changes. So this is that cooperative functioning right there. It's okay to change your mind about what kind of attention or affection you'd like to receive. It's also okay to change your mind about what compensation is needed in return for your efforts. Taking action toward these changes of heart is likely to bring about a good outcome. This aspect will be with us for the next several days. The ongoing Mercury aspect with Venus will lend us some of the computational and conversational powers we will need to enroll others in the changes we'd like to see. Then at 10:14 this morning, Sun goes square to Pluto. Aries, Leo, and Scorpio would be most involved here. Our conscious outward expression finds itself in a challenging position with the transformative energies that are coming down. Although we're going through some shifts and welcoming in creative opportunities, we still have to focus and put a little more intentional effort toward the deep and total changes we seek to make. Sun moves into Aries, Sun moves from Aries into Taurus again tomorrow, and this shift may be part of the vibe as we lose some of our outward initiative for the sake of becoming more grounded in what is familiar and therefore secure. In the ongoing column, Mercury conjunct Uranus is in its second and final day. We'll say day 2 of 1. Gemini, Virgo, Aquarius. We may have noticed an impulse or even a feeling of being compelled to change our minds or our plans with this aspect in play. Conjunct energy can be pretty intense and hard to resist. Hopefully, we have made thoughtful choices with our changes. And then Aries, Leo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Sun sextile Saturn continues through tomorrow to give us a cooperative boost of focus, good habits, and activity to help keep us on track while the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction rains down all these dreamy vibes of personal expansion and connection. And the Jupiter conjunct Neptune continues to rain down those blessings of positivity, fertility, and creative growth. Pisces and Sagittarius have ruling planets here. Jupiter's theme song here is Give It Away Now by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Jupiter is the resource for abundance and expansion. Jupiter represents the nurture and growth of our capacity to connect with the broader world through education, travel, and doing business. Neptune's theme song is more like Take Me to the River by Al Green. Neptune is the water we go down to so that we can feel our connection to spirit and to humanity. Neptune represents the interconnectedness of all things having being, including you and me. So what would it sound like if we could mash up these two songs, Give It Away Now and Take Me to the River? What expansion of our connection and inspired consciousness might those vibrations draw out of us? With these energies amplified and under pressure together in their home sign of Pisces, right? We get intense vibes that invite us to notice our personal relationship to spirit. We seek more inspiration and interaction through our intuitive practices. We notice the positive incoming opportunities that result from those labors of love. This aspect is in full force this week. I encourage you to stand in the deluge and sing a song of gratitude for all of the fertile and abundance blessings. Mercury sextile Venus will be with us through the 11th of May, giving us positive cooperative vibes between the intellect and our ability to attract what we need and desire. Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Libra have ruling planets here. At this time, we are empowered to negotiate the terms by which we receive affection, attention, and compensation. Remember, it's okay to change your mind, and we're empowered to have the conversation. I encourage us all to take advantage of this energetic opportunity. On the moon side today, at 10:31 in the morning, the moon goes square to Saturn, Cancer, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius. We may notice some challenges in the heart and home with handling our responsibilities. Challenges aren't meant to stop us. Rather, they are an opportunity to show resolve and continue the quest despite the obstacles. About an hour later at 11:41, Moon goes trine to Neptune, giving us harmonious functioning with the inner life and our sense of connection to humanity and spirit. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, we may be feeling especially psychic or intuitive at this time, and our hunches are on target. So taken together with Moon square Saturn from 10:30 this morning to about 1:40 this afternoon, I see emotional intelligence and intuitive labor sort of coming to the rescue at a time when we're struggling with what we know we have to do. Then at 1:36 in the afternoon, a couple of hours later, Moon goes trine to Jupiter, giving us ideal functioning of the inner life with our sense of expansion in what we can be, do, and have. Cancer, Scorpio, Sagittarius. We notice our growth. We feel generous and friendly, and we can be very good company at this time. And notice Neptune and Jupiter are conjunct, and so the Moon is making these identical sort of interactions with these planets that are not very far apart from each other from our perspective in the sky. Then at 6:55 this evening, Moon square Pluto. No, Moon square Pluto. That's not a square. That's a sextile. That's a smiley face. Cancer and Scorpio can show us how successfully to navigate the feeling the way here. We have a cooperative vibe with transformation in the heart and home. And then the void of course today will last, because this is a void of course moon, will last about 3 hours. This is a good time to work with your intuitive and creative practices to discover what deep and total changes, Pluto, right? Deep and total changes we can make in the heart and home. Then at 9:16, the moon makes ingress to Sagittarius. Moon rules Cancer, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. I see this as an inner life reflection and acceptance of the expanded inspiration and creative capacity now being granted by Jupiter's conjunct with Neptune. Moon in Sagittarius gives us an adventurous spirit. We seek new and expanded opportunities for the inner life. Universal truths are available to us at this time, with a little well-protected risk-taking, of course. Tomorrow, the sun will make ingress to Taurus, bringing our soaring, driven, fiery focus back to the ground and home base, there to thrive and grow and create. This Saturday, we'll see a third quarter moon in Aquarius. This will be the moon phase where we actively release things so that release the things that no longer serve a purpose for us in reaching our goals. And then coming up, I believe it's on Sunday, Mercury goes square to Saturn, so that'll be a conversation about whatever difficulties we're having with our responsibilities. Remember, we had the moon square Saturn here, and it was like, I know what I have to do, and maybe I don't really feel like doing it, or I'm having a challenge getting to it. So we have some conversations about our challenges around our support systems and our responsibilities as well. And then I'm just going to keep this at the bottom right now, just as a reminder. Pluto's going to go retrograde at the end of the month, but more importantly, what this reminds me of is that all of these planets right now, from our perspective, are going direct right now. So all of the planets are moving forward along their regular course, tra-la-la, at the right speed, interacting in good faith with all of the other planets. And so, if you feel a lot of momentum, if you feel initiative, if you feel like things are falling into place so easily, or things are going so coming together so well, then, it possibly has something to do with the fact that all of the planets are sort of working together and moving forward. And we do come across square challenges, and we come across oppositions and, uncertainty, of course, in the normal course of a daily life. But in general, things are moving forward, unfolding, rolling out. I can feel that energy. I wonder if you can too. Okay, that's it for today's astrology. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I appreciate it so much when you comment to ask questions or provide encouragement. It's not just gratifying for me to know that you're listening, but it lets the YouTube algorithm know you're engaged in the content. I see you helping me out there, and I just want to express my deep appreciation for that. Also, if you know anyone for whom this guidance may resonate, I encourage you to share. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's get into it. The tarot card that sits on the side of the page right now is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands relates astrologically to the last 10 days of the sun's 30-day transit through the sign of Aries. Okay, so the sun is like a person traveling, or a part of ourselves that is traveling, and Aries is the space, the state, the country through which it's traveling at this time. And it's about made it all the way across Aries. It's going to go into Taurus tomorrow, right? So here we are at the really very end of the very beginning, because Aries is the beginning of spring. It's the very beginning of the zodiac. So here we are about 30 days in, 28 or 29 days in to the sun's transit through Aries. We've made a good start, hopefully. Hopefully we felt the initiative, the fire, the spark. We were able to push forward what we needed to push forward, right? We were able to get ourselves into the place where we needed to get. We were able to make our homecoming, exactly, right? To be able to rest and celebrate, or if not celebrate, at least rest and focus on, our families and our friend groups while we allow the things that we have set in motion to unfold. So this is really a time to celebrate harmony, joy, good relationships. It indicates, a time of sort of peace after a period of hard work. And it does apply mostly to groups of people. So family, friends, your cohorts, whoever it is, your social group, that kind of thing. These are the people we want to be celebrating at this time, and with whom we would like to be celebrating as well. And with that said, I'm going to shuffle my cards here a little bit while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Aries, and this is a time of initiative and spark. The sun will go into Taurus tomorrow, so it's still initiative, it's still a beginning, but it's sort of like the middle, the grounded, the fixed part of the beginning, the part where we really sort of dig our roots in and start to create from a place of familiarity with what we're doing. But Sun in Aries has been a great time to make a rededication to ourselves and our own efforts to create the lives that we would like to express in the world. Aries is very much about the self and self-expression. Chiron is also in Aries from 2018 to 2027. That's a 9-year transit with some, retrogrades in there, of course. And Chiron is, Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron in Aries is asking us questions about how comfortable we feel with self-expression in the groups that we choose to be a part of, and how well we fit into the groups that we choose to be a part of, how accepted we are. So, taken from another perspective, you could use the words diversity and inclusion, allowing others to be themselves and including them in what we're doing anyway. If they're part of our group, then we include them in the group. We don't pretend they're not there because we don't like the way they do their hair or, the name they call themselves. So the moon is waning gibbous in Scorpio, making an ingress to Sagittarius later tonight. Moon in Scorpio really gets us deep into our emotions and our intuitions. It's a great time, especially in this waning gibbous phase, to be in reflection and review of how things have gone over the past several weeks. And, make some notes for yourself, like what I liked about that and what I could do without. And we'll just keep going that way, right? But yes, definitely Moon in Scorpio, a good time just to look within and see how things are going for you. Have the conversation with yourself. Venus sextile Uranus. It's okay to change your mind about the attention, affection, compensation you wish to receive. Venus sextile Mercury, or Mercury sextile Venus here. You are empowered now to negotiate the terms by which you receive attention and affection. So have those conversations. If there are changes you want to make in the way people treat you, or the stuff that people give you, the stuff that people bring you, or the compensation you receive for the work you do, especially the emotional labor that you do, definitely have those conversations. Having pulling power, having an attractive quality is worth compensation as well. It's not just about, what you can put out, what you can produce, what you can take initiative and build. It's also about what you can attract in for yourself and others. Sun square Pluto asks us to bring some extra attention to the transformations that we're trying to undergo, right? So this is kind of going along with this, like really pay attention to what not just what needs to change, but who we're trying to become, right? Because it's one thing to make a change, and there are probably thousands or 10,000 changes between full transformations, right? So a full deep transformation is really a product of a whole lot of changes, so that we go from being one person to being more like the person that we're trying to be, and hopefully we're trying to be ourselves, right? Drop some cards on the floor there. And then the Sun sextile Saturn also helping us focus on our good habits and the maintenance of our responsibilities while we are going through these dreaming and playing and expanded inspiration and creative capacity of Jupiter conjunct Neptune. And then also we have that Mercury conjunct Uranus, where we are feeling compelled to change the plan. It's okay to change your mind. Pay attention to the transformations that are required. Negotiate the terms, right? So these are all here to attend Jupiter conjunct Neptune at this time, as well as Sun sextile Saturn. On the moon side, I could go into that for like 20 more minutes and I'm not going to do it. On the moon side, we have some pretty positive vibrations here. You know, this is like we find that we have the emotional capacity, the spiritual capacity, the intuitive capacity to, you know, to resolve any struggle we're having with the work that we have to do. We find that we can be really good company and share and be generous with others at this time. We find that we can dive deep into our emotions and intuitions and probably have good outcomes from having done that. We're given a space of time here in the evening to actually sit down with our intuitive practices, our meditation, our tarot, whatever it is, your bibliomancy that you use, journaling, to have the conversation with yourself about the transformations you're trying to go through. And then the moon enters Sagittarius, which gives us little adventurous hearts that grow wings and fly off into the sunset, so to speak. And with that, I'm going to turn this card. Okay, we got the Eight of Cups. So, where is the disappointment here? This card speaks the word disappointment to me a great deal. And maybe that's why we're in this place of having to give extra attention to our transformations. Maybe this is why we're having to spend so much time, you know, really make an effort to attend our responsibilities as well. Maybe in attending our responsibilities, but also seeking to get to those transformations, we're finding that we're not getting enough, right? Cups is water. Yeah, Venus is really not water, although I tend to think of it that way. It is love. So there is a loving vibe to that receptiveness. But yeah, what I'm seeing here is that there's really, again, not enough of a capacity to take our loving energy, to take our creative and intuitive energy, especially at this time with this expanded Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces in their home sign, just making it rain, inspiration, blessings, fertility, creative capacity, you know, but you know, if it's raining like that, if we've got all this coming in, but we're not in a space in our relationships or in our homes or in our groups, okay, where we can express all of that creativity, where we can really be ourselves, where we can really give all of our love and inspiration, where we can really share it, like if we were at home with our family, right? then we might feel some disappointment there, and again, we might be off in search of a bigger vessel, a greater capacity, relationships that have greater capacity. We might have to negotiate the terms of our relationships so they give us greater capacity to express ourselves emotionally and spiritually and lovingly. Yes, and so taken, you know, together with the Four of Wands, it's sort of like I want to be able to express myself in the world, in all of my relationships, and in my work, social, and civic spaces as well. I want to be able to express myself with comfort, the way I would at home with my friends and my family, the way I would among the people who know me well and who do accept me. But out here in the world, I'm finding that there are areas where I still have to do some negotiation. I still have to advocate for myself. I have to attend these responsibilities while I'm trying to decide what it is that I really want to receive in return, not just for the work I do, but for the emotional and intuitive labor that I put into, because all of that deserves recognition. All of that deserves some form of attention or compensation. I think that's all I have to say about that right now. I do see the moon here, and it's Monday, and we're in a waning gibbous moon in Scorpio, so definitely just we can get deep in the emotions and become reflective about it. But remember, getting deep in those emotions today and becoming reflective, that comes with a cooperative aspect. So it's possible that, you know, doing this introspection, feeling this sense of disappointment or loss, or just there not being enough capacity for us to for us to give into, to give of ourselves to. Jupiter, Moon trine Jupiter wants us to, like I said, Jupiter is give it away now. Jupiter just wants to share and share and share and give and give and give. And in that trine aspect, we can really just be as giving and generous as we want. It's going to work well for us. And, synchronicity is sort of like a letter from heaven saying you're on the right track, right? So that's an idea. That's a time when we might find some synchronicity if we want to be able to give of ourselves generously. And if we find that we're not able to do that in the way that we would, in places where we are known and celebrated, then we're going to go off in search of a bigger capacity vessel. But in the meantime, if you cannot go off in search of a bigger capacity vessel, maybe the best thing is to return to that home space, to return to those friend groups, those social groups, those family groups that do know you well and do accept you and love you, and allow them to celebrate you a little bit, and allow them to let you express yourself a little bit more freely than you might feel that you can do in other spaces. That is definitely all I have to say about it today. Thank you, friends, so much for being here. I really appreciate you for showing up. My name is Melrose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.